Okay, I just did the 10 minutes of graffiti lore. I realized there was a couple things about lore I didn't put in, but skip that. And then I realized maybe I should make a video about myself. But what it boils, if I can only say one thing about myself, and this is what it boils down to, so I'm not going to make a video of me talking about me. But here's just one thing, is that if you're going to put 20 years into something, you're delusional. And that sounds negative, and I don't care. But that artist, to create great art, requires delusional artists. Like, we need that level. Because why not just say inspirational? You're inspirational, Lucas, and whatever. Because then I just want to sell tickets to a conference room and for positive self-talk. Delusional means I see a reality that isn't there, and I'm willing to put, and I believe it, and that's evidenced by the last 20 years I put into this. I want to tell the greatest parable that's ever been told, and it's all written down. Well, not line per line, but I have the storylines there. I have it. Like, I have the motif. I have the substance. No, I don't have the movies and the cinematics and everything, but the whole universe is there. Remember, this Indiegogo can go one of two ways. You can do an option where you get the money you get that people pledge, or it's the all or nothing. I went the all or nothing because I'm going to ask for 12 million, but it might make me ask less than that, whatever. I'm going to ask for up to 12 million if it lets me, because if I get only 3.5 million, that means that, people were kind of, but that's not going to launch an empire. I need people to be ardent and to get into this and to back me, because I spent time doing this. A real life, a real human life from someone with a prodigious mind and a deep soul. But you guys can decide that, or, decide that on your own. I'm not going to claim stuff about myself and expect anyone to believe that. So, yeah, you do need to partially rally. That is partially your job, and I can expect that. I can ask that of the world because I've earned it. And I want everyone to see my delusion become reality. I want to make these movies. I want to make this multi-platform universe. I want to make the app that's incredible that I can't tell secrets about because someone else will make it and it'll make a ton of money, because it's like, why hasn't anyone made that already? It's a MMO that's like, it's so easy and common sense and smart, that's going to be where I make my money. Like, the movies and the card games, like, I kind of want to just give that back to the community. I want to give it back to the actors. And remember, I'm going to have all kinds of charity stuff too. But where I'm going to make money like it's just rain or sand is with the app. But I feel okay about that. And I can go into the economics of that and why I feel okay about that, conscience level wise, when I get there. Okay. Because I'm always willing to explain myself and be transparent. Okay, so I wasted 3.5 minutes doing this. So I don't have hard copies of the Daughters of Shivagris. There's 7 of them. There's going to be 20,020 of them, because remember, so look at other rare cards. If you Google research other rare cards in collectible card games, there's 23,000, I believe, 23,700, something like that, of the Power 9 or something like that. I think the rarest of the rare cards is it was first print, out of print, etc. There's 23,000 of them. So make 20,000 of each daughter. But remember, there's 7 daughters I'm giving you here. There's 2 more daughters. Then there's Saudinaries. And they're all mechanically the exact same cards, with different skins, different cosmetics is the only difference as far as the card game goes. A different lore, here and there. But the cards are all the same. So that's 20,000 times 10 totals. That's 200,000. And then out of print. And if not the amount of, I'll say this, if Saudinaries is very expensive, that's like the most I'm selling. It is, wait, not this one here. Let's show them the real, or the not the real. This is the real Sodden. This Sodden names herself after him, and she is the out of print card. And if people and she's the highest priced card, for the reason that she's gonna be so, not central actually to but she's gonna be a very prized individual in the universe, and not commonplace. Don't find her a lot. And she's not like a big plot, wielder. The plot is okay. Anyway, so I don't want I don't want to misrepresent her, but she is one of the definitely very prized characters. So there's 1,430 because you get 14 of each of the 7 daughters, right? And then there's going to be 200, which is 20,000 of these Sodden. And if I've already made a decision, if I don't sell out on her, but I've sold, some at least, then, okay, let's say like I sold half. If I sell half of her, then I will not print any more of her, period. But if I don't sell half of her, then I will print up to whatever half is, 10,000, you get 100 per deck. And I will, I'm not going to sell those. I'm going to give them away at conventions and in piecemeal, not 100 at a time, like one at a time. Okay. So these are completely out of print cards. These daughters are completely out of print. There's 20,020 of each. There is $10, and 2 of them are not being sold, are not being offered here. That's the nanny and one of the other daughters. The other daughter is more the standard one. It's not a standout one. I'm just waiting on that one because I have an idea for the graphics, and then it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna shelve that. I'm just shelve the nanny and not worry about that for now, because I need to get going on the Indiegogo. But she's not particularly. I mean, all the daughters have a lot of character, and she's not particularly different from that. But she's not. But I will tell you right now, the only one in special daughter is the Sodden. Okay. So those would be completely out of print. What you guys sell them for is what you sell them for. But if the total amount of the 7 daughters, including the nanny and the other one, that's 20,020, is not sold out, then I'll distribute those at, okay. Man, we got to get to this quick. So remember about graffiti. Okay, there's like realm making, and this can happen because graffiti is so flexible and stuff. Okay, so realm making, but even the most dangerous kind of realm making is nightmare realm. The nightmare realm. It's very hard to do. It requires nightmare fuel, which is a very potent and hard to find resource. And the best thing that your opponent can do, well, let's talk about the game now, because nightmare fuel is in the game. You will go, when your opposing actor gets sucked into or devoured by your nightmare realm, one of the daughters of Shivagra's nightmare realm, there will be other, by the way, actors that use nightmare fuel. But what's particular about these daughters, how they use nightmare fuels, they use a lot of it. They use 2 at once. They use the veer cut and the engage. So they can very easily swing an entire round. They can win on their own. But it will use a lot of nightmare fuel, and you want your characters to, if they're stuck in the nightmare realm, you might not escape. There's a way too that requires predetermined choice, actual choice, but also it's a bargain. Also, luck. So, because nightmare realm is very hard to get out of. It helps to have quick step, because nightmare realms, you go this way or that way. And they're both generally horrendous ways to go. And actors, as I said, generally don't. Not generally. They almost never escape. But it's still considered a victory if at least they burned the nightmare fuel off a considerable amount. So there's less for later rounds. Now, so she has this quick step, right? And that means she can even if she's going this way, she can go that way. She can do that. Everyone can switch once, but then once per quick step. So she can switch up to 3 times. Once because she's an actor, like all, and 2 because she has 2 quick step. So it helps to be nimble in a nightmare realm. So that's kind of like how the card mechanic. Because you guys are like, well, what was this? What these Daughter Chivalrous actually do in the game? They put their partner. It's called their partner. That's actually the opponent's actor, devour them into a nightmare realm. So, was that everything? I hope so. Oh, 10 minutes, man.